How about Juan Williams?
Well, I got to be honest. I didn't know about it until Bernard just told me when he called me to get me on the show with you. I am shocked. Tell me the details.
What are the details, Charles or Bernie?
Bernie, you got the story there?
NPR fired him because he said that well, this is his quote. When I get on a plane, if I see people who are in Muslim garb and I think they are identifying themselves first and foremost as Muslims, I get worried, I get nervous. And NPR fired him for that. They said it was inconsistent with their editorial standards and practices.
But it was in a conversation with O'Reilly on his show, and in the context of a broader discussion about political correctness.
Well, I can tell you that NPR had been after Juan for some time. They were not pleased by all his appearances on Fox News. And, it's interesting. Like a lot of liberal organizations, they believe in freedom of speech as long as the speech is something that they agree with.
Sure.
And obviously, I mean, what he said isn't bigoted. What he said was simply expressing a concern that a lot of people would feel.
Sure.
And, he was not to say that he's right, not to say that all Muslims or even the vast majority of Muslims are terrorists, but that, there's obviously a concern that some people feel. Quite frankly, I don't know that he would say this, but I think a lot of us would admit that if we were walking down a dark street and we saw some African Americans, not to say that it's praiseworthy, not to say that it's right, we might feel a nervousness that we wouldn't otherwise, and you got to address it. And it certainly doesn't seem to me it's a firing offense by any way, shape, or form.
Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
Well, they're sitting there not paying attention.
I know.
Well, I'm already fighting with Nat about trying to get Raul Malo to do he and his bands there. Did you hear him warming up, Chuck?
I did. Fabulous.
You can sing a little bit, can
you are right. What a nice man, too.
No, he's not all that nice.
Yeah, he's good.
Anyway, no, he is. I have a bet with Charles about the artists that have appeared on the original Ranch record and the new Ranch record, which will be out Tuesday. By the way, you only have 3 days now to pre-order this on Amazon or iTunes, and after that, then it's on sale. Then who knows?
You have to just go through the regular process.
So I was looking on the country charts this morning on Amazon. It's Taylor Swift, Sugarland, and the Imus Ranch record.
Come on.
And then the old Ranch record is number 9. The old one.
Oh, my God. This is nuts.
But the bet is that any artist who's on either one of these records, like Sam Moore, he's on the current Ranch record. I said, and I played Mike Finnegan and the Phantom Blues Band, Part-Time Love, which is also on there. Mm-hmm. And Sam loves that,
Yes, he did.
And I said, well, that's on the Ranch record. He said, no, it's not.
He's argued
because these artists only listen to the cut they've done, if even that. But I guarantee you, Raul Malo hadn't heard any other cut on the or any of the rest of them. I mean, there's Patty Loveless and Delbert McClinton, Lucinda Williams, Levon Helm, Raul, Little Richard. Do you think he listened to Little Richard's cut?
No way.
Of course not. Big and Rich. John Rich, I think. I don't know if he's mad at me still, not making fun of him. Hillbillies don't like it when you make fun of them, But
no sense of humor.
It's all about John Rich.
That's it.
It's all about John Rich. Willie Nelson's on it. Dwight Yoakam. God, what a pain in the ass he is. No wonder Sharon Stone thought he was a dirt sandwich. So, I mean, he's a friend of mine, but oh my God, he's just so difficult. It's unbelievable. The great Becca Bramlett, John Hyatt, and Vince Gill. Do you think Raul's heard any of those except his cut? Of course not. Or has Vince Gill heard anybody else's?
No.
Other than his, if he even listened to his. So.
No.
Anyway, so it's all good. Here's what's coming up this morning. We'll get to that in a little bit. Michael Graham, we're going to talk to him. And then Fugly Frank Luntz is coming in. I acquiesced.
That is just wrong.
What? That I acquiesced?
Your characterization of your upcoming guest. That's just...
Well, okay, that is. That's bad. That's what got Juan Williams fired.
terrible.
Here's the thing I tell Juan. I don't worry about somebody in traditional Muslim attire anywhere. I worry about the guy trying to fit into, the guy with the new Nikes and the Yankee hat that doesn't look like a fan. That's the guy I'm concerned about. You can't wet your pants every time you see somebody with a turban on. Calm down. Gotta man up, man. And then, but the people at NPR, well, I've always hated them anyway. So I know they have 30 million listeners, but there are 30 million morons listening to them, including Fran Wood, by the way, my friend, a columnist.
Yeah, there. Yeah. Now what?
She listens to us and NPR. So. Anyway, so Fugly Frank will be on, and Raul Malo going to sing all morning. Chuck's,
Great.
And then Connell's here, Dagan.
Sure.
The great Warner Wolf. Who won last night, Warner?
Phillies stay alive.
That's what you said would happen.
Yeah, staying alive. Staying alive.
Oh, that'll be fine, Warner. We have Raul to sing. We don't need you.
No.
And then Bernie will have a briefing, and Lou Rufino's here with snarky little comments. But Chuck has the news. Let's do that.
President continuing efforts to try to rev up Democrats and independents ahead of the midterms. He campaigns for Democratic Senators Barbara Boxer and Harry Reid, California, Nevada today. The president was in Washington State yesterday for Senator Patty Murray. Rally in Seattle, Mr. Obama accusing congressional Republicans of obstructionism and said the GOP wants to renew the same agenda that, quoting him, caused this mess in the first place.
The same agenda that let Wall Street run wild. The same agenda that took record surpluses and turned them into record deficits.
Don't be talking about Wall Street. They're all your buddies. You're the guy who called all these thieves day after you got elected. So don't pretend now that you didn't have anything to do with this. I mean, come on. They're all your friends. The other guy's going to give you the money for your library, which hopefully you'll start building in 2012. I mean, come on, baby.
Gallup poll has his approval ratings at a new low. President acknowledged, though, deep voter anxiety over the economy, but cited, as he described it, steady progress regarding the recovery. French police forcing open a pivotal fuel depot that had been blockaded by strikers opposing these pension reforms in France. Officers descending on this place overnight carried out authorities to make the strikers go back to work. They'd been camped out for days in front of the depot, blocking access and contributing to nationwide gasoline shortages as the resistance goes on to the French push to raise the retirement age there from 60 to 62. And a big backlash developing over the firing of Juan Williams by National Public Radio. And in the meantime, Fox News announcing a big new deal for Mr. Williams in the wake of all of this. And a new salary, $2 million a year, a significant bump up from what he had been making as this thing continues to evolve. So it remains a very big story today.
Well, it should. And the only black man on NPR, and they fire him? Good for Roger Ailes. That's why all of us like working for him. So.
Oh, no kidding.
It's 11 minutes after the hour. Time for a little sports. Sports sponsored by Peerless Boilers. They make America's best boiler. And here's Warner Wolf. He's America's best sportscaster. And Breen would be right in there, and Nance, and that kind, a couple of others. But Warner's at the top, so what are we going to do? Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, man. Game 5 last night. The Phillies beat the Giants 4-2, cut it to 3 games to 2. Roy Halladay went 6 with a pulled groin and got the win. Tim Lincecum, 7 innings, got the loss, trailing 3-2. Big error by Giant first baseman Aubrey Huff in the 2nd inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, man.
Come on, baby. You can't miss that ball.
No, that's it. Here was the call by Scott Fransky, WYSP Philadelphia.
Swung on, grounded right side. Huff's got it. It's off his knee. Bounds into center. Ruiz coming around 3rd. He'll score as well. Victorino heads for 2nd, and the Phillies lead it.
Polanco,
right.
Yeah. So game 6 and maybe 7, Saturday and Sunday in Philadelphia.
What's your prediction, Warner?
You know what? I think I don't know yet.
You sound like a guy in a pit crew at NASCAR.
Yes.
You know what? You got loose on us in turn 3. That's why my voice this morning, man. It's gone.
Yeah, I think Oswalt would beat Sanchez, and there'll be a game 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course, Texas.
Do or die, Warner.
Backs against the wall.
Yeah.
Yanks in Texas tonight at 8:05. And the big football game last night, Oregon goes 7-0, beating UCLA 60-13.
Oh, man. 13 after the hour here in the Imus morning program. Raul Malo is going to sing in a minute. This is from their first ranch record. You can buy that with a new one. The great Delbert McClendon. All right, baby.
There's nothing that is wrong in wanting you to stay here with me. I know you've got somewhere to go. Won't you make yourself at home and stay with me? Don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, and rest you in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. The sun ain't nearly on the rise, and we still got the moon and stars above. Underneath the velvet sky, love is all that matters. Won't you stay with me? And don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, to rest you in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to?
Well, a taste of Delbert McClendon from the first ranch record.
Tastes
Buy
good.
that along with the
Tastes good.
one. Well, now Raul's heard two. Heard his, and he's heard Delbert. Time for a little business news here on the Fox Business Network and on the radio around the country. With a preview of what's coming up. Connell McShane, good morning, Connell.
Good morning, Emmanuel. We've talked about Apple a lot on this program the last few days, whether it's their earnings being released or the new MacBook Air and what have you. And now Apple's in the news because of who its CEO is meeting with. Steve Jobs and President Obama got together as part of that Western swing the president's on that Charles referenced earlier. And apparently, I guess the way it's being couched is President Obama talked about jobs with Steve Jobs. They talked about job creation, American competitiveness, education, all these types of things as the president swings out west. That happened yesterday. As for the markets this morning, what's that?
Might want to use that line, Charles. You talked about jobs with Steve
Jobs.
Very creative, yes.
I like that.
Very creative.
Quick market update for you. The Dow futures are down 4 points. Gold's down $6. And dollar's a little bit stronger against the euro. Nothing's the matter. What do you mean, what's the matter?
Well, you just kind of just blew.
That just blew you off, yeah.
Yeah, me and Charles.
Straight to the news. No, not Charles. Just you.
It's a quarter after the hour here on the Imus in the morning program. Bernie with a briefing and Dagan with her nonsense coming up, and then Raul Malo. Then we'll talk to Michael Graham from Boston.
Imus in the morning.
Are you looking for an investment opportunity but you're not sure where to start? Why not get involved in what Inc. Magazine is named one of the fastest growing companies in America? Planet Fitness is a gym that attracts the average guy. You don't need to be a musclehead to work out at a Planet Fitness. You don't need to be a musclehead to buy into one either. All you need to do, want to make some money. You can't sell meth, you know. So why not do this? Planet Fitness will set up your gym for you, develop a marketing strategy, one that has a track record of putting up some big numbers. And then about, almost $2 million a year, maybe clear over $500,000. The economy a little shaky now, but you got some money lying around and some time on your hands. Get into this, and you could sell steroids and human growth hormone stuff to your clients on the side. That's a cash deal there. So you're going to be living large. Planet Fitness, go to planetfitness.com and say, tell me what's going on here so I make me some money. Planetfitness.com. Portion of the program is sponsored by Hackensack University Medical Center. Coming up a little later, Fugly Frank Luntz, and then maybe Juan Williams might be in. Talk to him in a couple of minutes. Raul Malo is going to sing in a second. But first, time for a briefing sponsored by P.C. Richard & Son, Bernie Briefing. And here with that is Bernard McGurk. Morning, Bernie.
Hey, Chief. Well, speaking of the aforementioned Juan Williams, that, as Charles said, is the big story, and you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody defending NPR, National Public Radio. Even Whoopi Goldberg said the firing was ridiculous. And Williams wrote a column yesterday. He said he was fired for telling the truth, and that after 10 years he just got a phone call. He was unceremoniously dumped, and the lady who called him implied he was a bigot. He wrote it's a chilling assault on free speech and that they loathe the fact that he appears on Fox News. And to add insult to injury, the woman who runs NPR questioned Juan Williams' sanity.
Well, I heard what she said. She's stupid, but...
Feels the way he feels. That is not for me to pass judgment on. That is really his feelings that he expressed on Fox News are really between him and his, psychiatrist or his publicist or take your pick. But it is not compatible.
What a condescending, patronizing dope. God.
And people are calling for the funding, taxpayer funding, to stop, to end. It's not that much, really, but it's whatever it is.
Well, as my panty-wearing friend David Hinckley says in the news this morning, though about the only person in the world defending the action of NPR, is they do have 30 million saps listening to them, so...
Right, and they also got $1.8 million from this George Soros, who supports Media Matters and blah, 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 and they say that was a big factor in Williams' firing.
But I'm McGurk, the Imus Morning Program. All right, time for a little business news, and here with that is Dagan McDowell. Good morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir.
Did you run down here and try to hug on Raul, or?
You just shook his hand kindly.
Yeah.
I didn't want to scare him off.
You didn't throw yourself at him like you do everybody else. Like you did Ryan Bingham and Hayes Carl. Those people. Gilbert.
I'm still married.
That didn't stop you last time. When you had that first husband, then you met this new guy here, and he was, suddenly he was deader than Elvis. So, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. We don't hold that against you, but do you have any business news?
Yes, now that you've besmirched me and my faithfulness to my home slice. Thank you so much. Hey, this will interest any American. 1 in 3 Americans by 2050 in the next 40 years could have diabetes. Diabetes is already the #1 reason for adult blindness, kidney failure, limb amputation, big contributor to heart attacks and strokes. And one of the reasons for this doubling or tripling in the next 40 years, obesity. 2/3 of Americans are overweight or obese, and it's going to cost everybody. So stop wolfing down that basket of wings and fries every day at lunch, because we all going to play for them.
Well, you eat spray cheese and all that kind of stuff while you watch NASCAR, so.
That's once a week.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I am starving and angry.
But you're not fat, so. All right, 25 after the hour. Raul Malo's new album is called Sinners and Saints, and, of course, Mr. Malo was gracious enough to donate his time and talent and do the great Charlie Rich song, Life's Little Ups and Downs, on the first version of the Imus Trance record. Did you ever listen to any other cut on this album other than yours?
You know what? I listened to that whole record.
No,
yes, I did.
You did?
Yes, I did.
What song did you like Little Richard doing?
I love the Little Richard track, and I love the Vince track.
Vince Gill, yeah.
Well, I mean, it was, like you said, it is really a great record. It really is a fun record.
Have you heard the new one? No.
I have not heard the new one, though.
I got Jamie Johnson I can talk to him into doing Meatloaf's 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad. Have you heard that?
No.
I'll play it for you later.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's as good as you are, but let's hear you sing. Ladies and gentlemen, Raul Malo.
Some may wait for kingdom come. I'm happy when my day is done. It's free, wait for no one by the way. Yeah. We're just living for today. We're just living for today. We're just living for today. Oh, living for today. It seems like pretty good advice. He's like an old and brilliant say. No more intellectuals, just good book thumpers after all. Living out their own crusade. Yeah. We're just living for today. For today. We're just living for today. No matter what we say, we're just living for today. Yeah. We're just living for today. We try giving peace a chance. The only thing that's wrong with that, we've been at war since I was born. Ancient Romans come and gone. The lessons there for all of us. What will we do with all we know? We're just living for today. For today. We're just living for today. No matter what they say, we're just living for today. For today. We're just living for today. Living for today.
Oh, man, I love that. That is great. Raul Malo, he'll be back 30 minutes after the hour. 3 days left to pre-order Ranch Record 2. Here's Jamie Johnson.
Baby, we can talk all night, but that ain't getting us nowhere. I told you everything I possibly can. There's nothing left inside of here. And maybe you can cry all night, but that'll never change the way I feel. The snow is really piling up outside. I wish you wouldn't make me leave here. I poured it on and I poured it out. I tried to show you just how much I care, but I'm tired of words and I'm too harsh to shout. You've been cold to me so long, I'm crying icicles instead of tears. And all I can do is keep on telling you I want you, I need you, but there ain't no way I'm ever gonna love you. Now don't be sad, 'cause 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night.
Fearless Talk Radio.
Well, 23 till they are. They're on the Imus in the Morning program. On the radio around the country and on the Fox Business Network. Potentially all over the world, except Cablevision, of course. Fugly Frank Lenson's coming out. Gets the numbers, Ned Boy. And then the Juan Williams may be in. And then Raul Malo will be back, excuse me, to sing throughout this morning. this morning. Here's an anti-fave who got fired himself from, I think, some public radio someplace. Michael Graham from Boston. Good morning, Mr. Graham.
Good morning, Mr. Imus. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yes, I was banned from public radio in South Carolina.
Tell me about that.
Well, I didn't meet my 2 sheep quota, and so no. I went on the.
That's a good one.
Here's the deal. I was asked to do commentary for a public radio show in South Carolina that's theoretically humorous, and I criticized politicians. I pointed out that if they got rid of all the crooks in the State House, there wouldn't be enough people left to convene a quorum. And so that's when I found out it's not public radio, it's government radio, like Pravda.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, I'm leading a civil rights movement. I've got a group of black journalists who are going to try to cross the color bar. They're going to stage a sit-in the NPR lunchroom, and I'm very excited about that. I think it'll be a good move.
So what do you think about what happened with Juan?
My question is, did he get fired for what he said, or did he get fired for being on Fox News? Because it's hard to figure out from the left what they're more offended by, telling the truth about Islam or Fox News. The White House is waging war on Fox News. George Soros is dumping millions of dollars targeting Fox News. So it's a bizarre universe. I'm curious to know what you think. Which one do you think did him in?
Well, that's why you're on the program, to answer questions. I'm not here to answer questions. What I think.
Well, look,
I think you got to stop wetting your pants every time you get on a plane and see somebody in a funny hat. That's the first thing I think. Or if it.
Wait. Are you kidding me, dude?
No, I'm not.
Islam is different. Islam is different. Why is it so hard for people to admit? Islam is different.
I understand
and the killer is you got these loony lefties.
Let me talk, or I'll jab myself in my eye with my pen. And then what are you going to do? Then you'll feel bad. Because the old cowboy not only will have cancer, but one eye.
You'll laugh.
You'll laugh.
One-eyed cancer victim.
Keep talking.
Here's I hear what you're saying. Here's my position. I don't worry at all when I see somebody in traditional, say, Muslim attire. Here's what I worry about on an airplane. Because the people who flew the planes, the terrorists who flew the planes into the World Trade Center weren't wearing traditional Muslim garb. I worry about the guy trying to fit in. Got the new Nikes on and wearing the Yankee hat and it didn't quite look right. Now, that's the person I worry about. So my only advice for one, who I like, sort of, is like Frank Rich I like, has got to stop wetting his pants every time he sees somebody who doesn't have the same outfit on he does. So that's
the point he's trying to make is. The point he's trying to make is that Islam is different. And what's driving people crazy, and the reason Bill O'Reilly had the whole dust up with The View, is because apparently you're not allowed to point out that it's obviously different. The mainstream media and the loony left keep telling us to say, stop noticing, don't notice. It's like you're the little kid at Thanksgiving dinner, and there's grandma slicing the turkey,
and
there's dad ladling the gravy, and there's Uncle Ahmed pouring the mashed potatoes on his hat, and you're supposed to go, I'm not noticing this. He's a lunatic. There is a problem, and the problem is inside Islam.
That may be, but O'Reilly was wrong. It wasn't Muslims. It was Muslim terrorists. There's a big difference. So,
all of the terrorists were Muslims. They weren't Amish terrorists, okay? Nobody goes to bed at night worrying about the clop, clop, clop of the hooves as the Amish come in the driveway to fling the lantern into their home. There's one religion in the world that has a problem, and it's Islam.
We all knew what he meant. I knew what he meant. Whoopi knew what he meant. The funniest line, the big headline out of that View show was when Joy Behar stood up and said her integrity was offended. Well, she didn't have any integrity. She worked for CNN. But we all knew what he meant. The point is, and I'm obviously right about this, it wasn't Muslims. It was Muslim terrorists, period. Charles and I talk about this all the time. You have to be clear and concise and specific.
But what other religion has a problem with a significant terror problem in its own membership?
That's irrelevant.
No one else has that.
Okay,
I'm sorry. That is the whole story. And what other religion can you get fired talking about? Let me ask you something.
I love
How do you get fired? How can you get fired talking about any other religion? You could go on TV tonight and say Jesus was transvestite pedophile who stole crutches from lepers, and the reaction would be, I saw that in South Park 3 weeks ago. There's no other religion that can get you fired.
Well,
right now,
it's like golf. You got to play the ball where it lies. So it's just where we are.
But it's just,
you got a bunch of people on the right looking to pounce on guys on the left. You got a bunch of guys on the left looking to pounce on guys, and both sides are looking to pounce on people in the middle. So it's just reality.
No, you're totally wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. You can't say Muslims. you can't simply say Muslims attacked the World Trade Center because you're wrong.
Well, who did attack the Trade Center?
They were terrorists who happened to be Muslims.
No, it's not happened. That is the happen to be part. There is no other religion that inspires. Look, let me tell you something.
You know why you're in Boston?
When you hear a news
Because
story,
you're a moron.
When you hear a news story that like a bus blew up or there's attack in a building, are you waiting to hear Sean O'Malley or Jacques Francois? No, you know the names are going to be Ahmed and Muhammad.
Yeah.
You know it when the story breaks, and every time it's true. And then when you stand up and you say that's what happened, then you're not allowed to say that. That during the Fort Hood shooting, the jihadists.
What's wrong with being accurate?
Well, nothing's wrong with being accurate. Well,
okay,
when you're telling the truth about Islam.
So
that's the problem.
Zane's parents say we go to school. Why? I used to. They're Muslim. So if I say Muslims attacked the World Trade Center, that means that Zane's parents were in on it. Well, they weren't in on it.
No, you didn't say all Muslims. You just pointed out that the people who attacked the World Trade Center were Muslims.
Okay,
the guy in the Fort
but they
Hood
were also
shooting
terrorists,
was a Muslim.
weren't they terrorists?
Yes, they were. But
my
yes,
voice is gone. Why am I
were.
arguing with you? You're a moron. Let's talk about something else.
Here's the deal.
No, you're just
wrong.
wrong.
Let's talk something else.
You're wrong and stupid. But you're funny, and we like
you
you.
Too.
Oh, no,
but you know what?
Idiot.
I don't have prostate cancer, okay? And I have both my eyes.
No, but
so put that in your pipe and smoke
There's
it.
got to be something that you can get. Maybe you could even have a heart attack as we're talking. Talking with Michael Graham is on 96.9.
I have bronchitis right now. Does that help? I don't know.
16 to the hour. Anyway, midterm elections, who do you think is going to win?
Well, the Republicans are going to take the House, but what's amazing is up here in Massachusetts, Barney Frank is actually in a race. This is one of the top 10 most gerrymandered districts in America, according to Salon.com, and the new poll came out today. It's a 12-point race, which I know that sounds like a lot, at least a lock.
Yeah.
He usually wins by 40 points. And here's the headline on my paper today, the Boston Herald. He's taken $40,000 from the same banks he gave TARP money to. This is the third bank scandal for Barney Frank in the last couple of months. It is very, very possible. It's not likely, but it is possible that Barney Frank could lose. That's how bad things are for Democrats. And think about it. If you're down to single digits in a 40-point gerrymandered district. Think about the poor schlep who's in the 8-point Democrat district. He's already done. And the guys in the 15-point districts are in competitive races.
Just what I'm talking about. Somebody on the right hating on some dude on the left.
What are you talking about? It's not my fault.
You illustrate why I didn't say it was. But you're just hating on Barney.
Do you know about Barney Frank's boyfriend heckling Barney's opponent at a press conference?
Oh, no.
It's hilarious.
Tell me about it.
No, see, the guy, Sean Belot's the guy. He's a Marine reservist now and a business guy. He finishes a debate, comes out, and there's Barney Frank's boyfriend taking a picture of him and heckling him, saying his jokes are no good. It's like a bad Don Rickles routine outside the debate.
Have you heard
it's getting crazy up here.
Have you heard what Brett Favre's wife is saying about the text he was sending to the girl?
That objects in the text are not as large as they appear?
No, she said that they were originally intended for her, but Brett, they got intercepted.
You have had a storied you have had a storied career in your misspent youth. Would you not agree, Mr. Imus?
Yeah. Yes.
And you've hit on many women, and based on your wife, obviously, while they were still in middle school. Have you ever had a scenario where the smart play to get laid was to take a photo of your Johnson and give it to the woman in question? Ever?
Well, not after I found out it didn't work, no. Michael Graham from Boston. Thank you, baby.
If Jesus came to your house to spend a day or two, if he came without warning, I wonder what you'd do. I'm a sick.
All right. 8 minutes till the hour here in the Imus Morning program. Frank Lunt's coming up. Juan Williams is coming up. Raul Malo will be back to sing. But I love that living. What was that thing called, Joel? That song you just did?
Don't know the title.
Living for Today?
Great, though.
Good, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Living for Today.
Reverend Jackson is here. Jesse Jackson. Good morning, Reverend Jackson.
Good morning, Amos.
How are you?
I'm fine, Amos.
You've been helping out your friend Bishop Eddie Long?
Eddie Long was totally wrong, Imus.
Yeah.
You can't be having your schlong with young boys and think you're going to be all right. This is crazy.
Okay. Now, Reverend Jackson, of course, normally rhymes the times.
Yes.
But this morning you have a Fuzzy Wuzzy, which I love, of course.
There's a Fuzzy Wuzzy, an ode to Bob Guccione.
Oh, the Penthouse guy, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me hear this.
Here we go. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy was sitting at home when he heard the news about Bob Guccione. Fuzzy was quite upset. He sure did like them Penthouse pets. Fuzzy had one big regret. It was a letter to the editor he had not sent. Dear editor, last winter I was in the woods. I caught a whiff of some freshly baked goods. This delicious aroma and lovely bouquet was coming from some yuppies' ski chalet. I crept to the door, opened it with ease, then crawled on through on my hands and knees. I was about to grab these goodies made of sugar and flour when I heard the sound of two folks in the shower.
Uh-oh.
I dove for the floor, gave it a hug. I was lying there like a big bear rug.
Yeah.
While lying there pondering my plight, a wet naked man put on the Barry White. He said, hey, baby, let's do it on this bearskin throw. I thought to myself, oh, hell no. The two of them started groaning and moaning. Oh, that's just great. Now they're boning.
Uh-oh.
I don't see nothing wrong, a little bump and grind, but these two fools are doing it on my behind. I jumped up. I didn't want to be mean, but what these two are doing on my body was going to be hard to get clean. That's my story, thoroughly recounted. Sincerely yours, Brokeback and Mounted.
Reverend Justin Jackson here on the Imus Morning program. Want to remind y'all, Rob Bartlett and Tony Powell starring in Mother Brothers on Saturday, October 30th at the Seven Angels Theater in Waterbury, Connecticut. For tickets and more information, although what information would you need to know about it? They're fun to do, both of them. Go to sevenangelstheater.com. It's 5 minutes now until the hour.
Imus in the morning.
You know what we do is there's a thing called a corporate angels, and whenever we fly someplace, if there's a kid with cancer or some other hideous, debilitating malady who can't travel on commercial jets, we fly them to wherever they're going, and then we go where we're going. So sometimes you do have various people you don't know.
So what you're basically saying is if there's a Muslim kid, he's bald, he's 6 years old, and he's got tubes sticking to him, you're not afraid of him, so that shows that you don't have any bias.
You know, I'm trying to pat myself on the back.
Yeah, I can tell.
You're
not cooperating.
And you turn it into an ugly event. I'm not afraid of a 6-year-old, nor his parents who might be with him, Butthead. So, I'm sorry about Butthead. That's unfortunate. I'm talking with Chris Wallace here.
May I just say something? Because I occasionally look on your website, and you have this young woman, I don't know that she's young, I just assume, Julie, who writes the essays about the guests.
Yeah.
They are laugh-out-loud funny.
Oh, she's a genius. Well, I don't know if she's a genius or not, but...
She's very funny.
That girl can write.
She summarizes our conversation. Let me just say to all the folks out there, go to the Imus website, imus.com, and read Julie's summaries of what goes on this show, because actually, first of all, it'll save you a lot of time. You don't have to listen to the show, and they're actually funnier than reality.
Well, the big story is, in all likelihood, Congress is going to go to the Republicans on the House side, and they'll pick up 6 to 7, maybe 8 seats on the Senate side, and the whole shift of power in Washington is going to move away to some degree from the White House back to Congress. That's the biggest story in America right now.
Won't that kind of help the president, though, if he's got if there's a majority in both houses, but if he's got a majority if he's got a Republican majority in the House and enough Republicans in the Senate to cause problems, that he can whine about that when he runs again?
Well, look, I don't think any president wants to see his party take the kind of licking that it's going to take, the Democrats are going to take on November 2nd. And I know a lot of people think, well, the president can do what Bill Clinton did. I would be very cautious about any prediction that Barack Obama as president would do what Bill Clinton did as president, as far as working with the Republican Congress, compromising, finding this triangulation strategy.
But he's not as politically adroit as Clinton by any means. Well, who is, by the way?
Yes, they're both politically. Anyone who becomes president is politically adroit, no question about it. But
well, no, what I meant was that Barack Obama doesn't have the skill set that. Did I just say skill set, Joe?
Yeah, you did.
Send me to lexicon prison.
Yes, you did.
Anyway, but it doesn't have the same talent as Bill Clinton. But then who does? Anyway, go ahead.
Well, but remember, Bill Clinton came in 1992 with 43% of the popular vote. Barack Obama had 53% of the popular vote. He remembers that difference. He believes that difference is important, and he shouldn't compromise down from that position, having won 53% of the popular vote in 2008.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
What the hell's the matter with you? What's going on here? You know, we got
what's the matter?
5 minutes after the hour here in the Imus Morning program on the radio all over the country, on the Fox Business Network, potentially all over the world. So I'm looking at the monitors over here.
Yeah.
And on top is me. How you doing, Don? Hook 'em horns. And then in the middle is ESPN. I don't mind that. Then on the bottom is Fox and Fiends. I don't want to see Fox and Fiends. I hate those people. So why would I want to watch that? All right. Fugly Frank Lunson's coming up. We'll talk to that boy. I'm giving him another chance to behave himself. So I acquiesced and agreed to put him on. He's been calling the office about every 10 minutes trying to get on, you know.
Okay.
So we're going to let him on. And if he behaves himself, fine. And the great Raul Malo, he is great, by the way, Raul Malo. He's here and he's coming up. So we'll sing throughout the morning for us. If everything's as good as that Living for Today from his new album, Saints and Sinners, man, that's a great record, isn't it?
Terrific. It really is.
Anyway, Chuck's got some news. Warner Wolf will have sports. The Phillies lost a one last night, right?
Oh,
Warner?
yeah. Phillies are alive, man.
Okay, so they're going back to Philly as Warner said they would. Connor McShane, Dagan Medal coming up. But I'm McGirt, Lou Rufino are here. Charles has some news. What's up, Chuck?
Well, the Juan Williams story remains very much in the headlines this morning, man, with a lot of people, conservatives and some liberals alike, saying that NPR went too far in firing their longtime news analyst, Mr. Williams, for having expressed himself, saying that he sometimes can feel uneasy about seeing Muslims in traditional dress on airplanes, but then also added that not everyone in a religious group should be lumped together with terrorists, emphasized that it is important to distinguish between the two.
What sane person is going to get on an airplane in traditional Muslim attire planning on blowing it up?
Doesn't mean you don't get nervous, though, when you're sitting next to him.
Oh, man. Well, I don't. You and Juan got to man up then.
You don't. I mean, what do you fly on?
No, my point is, I walk, like I was in Central Park yesterday on the lower loop there.
Yeah.
You see everybody. I've been living in New York for over half my life. You see all kinds of people. You know who I worry about?
Who's that?
The guy about 30 with a backpack and a Yankee hat and brand new Nikes. That doesn't look right to me. That's not somebody wearing a turban. I know you and Juan got to take your panties off and man up here.
If you're on a plane, it's a little different.
No, it shouldn't be. Just, common sense. So, anyway, go ahead.
Well, there's been a big backlash that is continuing.
Here we go. You know what your argument against Michael Graham was?
What?
You're wrong, you're stupid, and you're an idiot.
Well, he is. He is wrong.
That's how you rebutted what he said.
But he's wrong.
Well, could you agree that maybe he might be right? Maybe
no, he's not
possible.
Right. No, you can't identify the people who flew into the World Trade Center simply as Muslims. It's idiotic.
It's a visceral sort of thing. It's something you can't help. You just you don't want to feel. You don't want to feel that way.
Stop
but you
wetting your pants every time the boogeyman scares you. Charles continues.
NPR.org website has been slammed by thousands of comments, nearly 5,000 by mid-afternoon yesterday. Most of them saying that they had taken political correctness too far. Yes, I man.
They have a terminal. What am I going to do?
And Fox News gave Juan Williams a new 3-year contract yesterday in a deal that amounts to nearly $2 million over that 3-year period. Roger Ailes, chief executive, saying Juan had been a staunch defender of liberal viewpoints since his tenure began at Fox News in 1997. And Mr. Ailes saying in a statement going on, he said he's an honest man whose freedom of speech is protected by Fox News on a daily basis.
When you misspoke in your earlier newscast and said Juan was getting $2 million a year, Connell was all ready to start taking out the Buddhists.
Connell actually came over and corrected me that it was over the 3-year period, not annually.
Now, time for a little sports, and here with all that is Warner Wolf. Good morning, Warner.
Good morning, man. So the Phillies are still alive. Game 5. They beat the Giants last night 4-2. They cut it to 3 games to 2. Roy Halladay went 6 with a pulled groin to get the win. Tim Lincecum left after 7, trailing 3-2. Big error by Giant first baseman Aubrey Huff in the second inning. Runners at second and third, letting in 2 runs to make it 2-1. Polanco's RBI single 3-1, and then Worth's home run inside the fair pole made it 4-2.
Don't start the fair pole foul stuff.
No.
We'll come over there and hurt you.
Not a foul ball.
We'll waterboard you.
Game 6 and maybe 7, Saturday and Sunday in Philadelphia. Meanwhile, Texas and the Yankees tonight, 8:05 in Arlington. Phil Hughes, remember he was bombed out in Game 2 against Colby Lewis. Here was Joe Girardi on tonight's game.
I think you have to manage it like there's no tomorrow.
Oh. College football last night. Oregon goes 7-0. Squeezes by UCLA 60-13. Oregon had almost 600 yards total offense. Quarterback Darren Thomas threw for 3. And Heisman candidate, sophomore running back LaMichael James, 123 yards, 20 carries, 2 touchdowns. By the way, trailing 39-3 in the third quarter, UCLA kicked a field goal.
Well, you know why, don't you, Warner?
I do know why.
Yeah.
Because the UCLA coach had UCLA in 36 points.
10 minutes after the hour, almost 11 after. Time for a little business news. And here with that is Conor McShane on the Fox Business Network and on the radio all over the country, including one of the great radio stations in the history of radio, WABC in New York. Good morning, Connell.
Good morning, Iman. We've been talking a lot about earnings of late, and Amazon.com came out last night with what looked like a good report, and it was. And it's funny, their own success is hurting them in some ways. The earnings shows that customers are out there spending more money, and the stock is down, even though everything in the report, for the most part, was better than expected. The issue is their costs are going up. Because people are out there spending more money, they've had to build, or they have plans to build 13 new centers this year to keep up with customer orders and what have you. So they have to spend more money to keep up with all the demand, and that's hurting the stock. But pretty good report from Amazon. Market this morning is pretty flat. Futures up a little ahead of the open.
Conor McShane with the business stuff. Dagan McDowell will have, well, her version of it coming up. Although I've been watching her in the monitor. Girl been working on her eyelashes for about an hour here.
Yeah.
She looks good this morning.
Looks great.
She's coming up. And then Barney will have a briefing.
Hot.
And Lou will have some narky comments. And Frank Luntz will be in. So, as perhaps I've made clear, the Imus Ranch Record 2 and the original Imus Ranch Record, all designed to raise money for the Imus Cattle Ranch for kids with cancer. 100% of the profits from these records go to the Imus Cattle Ranch Kids with Cancer. And New West Records, Cameron Strang, the great people, they give the money they made.
Fabulous.
So not only did I not have to sue them to get the money from them, they gave the money that they made.
Very generous.
So, and now you can go to imus.com, and up on the left it says the Imus Ranch, and you can click on that. And there's a whole website devoted to just the Imus Cattle Ranch Kids with Cancer, everything you could possibly want to know about it. And one of the things when we were at RFD, what Patrick Gosch did, and did a magnificent job, is they did a documentary of what goes on at the ranch. And to give you an idea, at the end of each 10-day go-around with the kids, we have a rodeo where they have to rope and tie calves and that kind of thing. And then we sit them down in the barn, me and Deirdre, and we are giving their Montana buckles and talk to them a little bit. And here's a little bit of what I say to these little knotheads. Every one of them, been over 1,000 of them there. Roll that, Bigfoot. And the winner of the 4th round with an average of 32.56 is Jamar.
as you go through your life, the rest of your life, don't be defined. Don't let people define you by your disease. Because you have cancer, because you have a blood disorder, don't let people put that tag on you. Because don't ever in your lifetime ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something or that you can't do anything any other kid can do. And what you proved here this week is that you can do not only something any other kid can do, but better than anybody. Mm-hmm. Nobody goes through life undefeated. Bad stuff happens to everybody, and it's how you react to it. But each of you should be very proud of yourselves because you have tremendous courage and tremendous guts what you did here today.
Here's the Blind Boys of Alabama from the current Imus Ranch record 2.
You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine. You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine.
How can you ask for truth when you don't truthfully live? How can you ask forgiveness when you don't forgive? I don't mean to bring you down or speak to you unkind, but you can't be a beacon if your light don't shine.
You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine. You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine.
Have a little light in all of us, my God divine.
You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine.
How can you ask a child to be honest and true when he can only judge it right by what he sees in you? How can you offer vision but walk around blind?
You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine. You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine. You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine.
Tell a little light in all of us, by God design.
You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine.
Blind Boys of Alabama.
May God love surround you.
So Jimmy Carter, who's the leader of the Blind Boys of Alabama, he told me 3 or 4 years ago, he said, I hear you doing that ranch record. We want to be on it. Mm-hmm. And then they turned down every song that I
2 seconds.
They turned down every song for 3 years. I tried to get them to do everything.
Yeah.
And finally, the old Donna Fargo hit, You Can't Be a Beacon If Your Light Don't Shine.
Fit them great.
They did that. And Kyle Lenny produced that down in Nashville. Final 3 days to pre-order this, Amazon.com or iTunes.com. It's 17 after the hour. The largest selection. All right, 22 after the hour. Raul Malo's coming up. He's going to sing. Then Fugly Frank going to come in. We'll talk about them poll numbers. Bernie's Briefing is sponsored by PC Richard & Son. 101 years, got a big birthday sale going on. What's going on, Bernard?
Well, they busted a teacher in Brooklyn yesterday, Chief. He had a 14-month-long fling with a student at a school there. He also had a different 13-year-old student send him nude pictures, and a third student he was showering with gifts and massaging her feet and stuff. And if you want to read about it in the New York Times, well, no, it's not on the front page. Oh, no, it's not in the New York Times. No, it's not in the New York Times whatsoever. But of course, if it was a priest in Luxembourg in the 1970s, it'd be splashed all over that.
Well, it's not either or, Bernie. Don't be trying to get your priest off the hook because you're because you're masking something that happened to you when you were an altar boy. I mean, thou dost protest too much.
You don't get it.
I get a lot. So.
And they found water on the moon, Chief.
They did.
Remember when they sent that rocket in to crash into the moon, and that it was supposed to be a spectacular explosion, which didn't happen, but they found water on the moon.
Yeah.
The bottom line is it's a great news if we want to go up there and hang out, because you can't carry water to the moon, but now it's there. They can break it down, oxygen to breathe, hydrogen for fuel, but in any case, we're not going. And the reason why President Obama stated this a couple of months ago, this is what he said, the reason why we're not going to the moon.
I understand that some believe that we should attempt a return to the surface of the moon first, as previously planned. But I just have to say, pretty bluntly here, we've been there before.
It just seems to me that if President Bush we're not going,
he'd get killed.
We've been there before.
Maybe you could build your library there in 2012. One hopes.
Anyway, that's your water on the moon. Water on the moon.
Time for a little business news down here with that is Dagan Mattel. Good morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir.
What's going on?
A story that Connell and I will be all over at 11 a.m. The biggest spender in this election this year is not big bad business. It is the Public Employees Union. These are people and union members paid by the American taxpayer. The American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees is making a last-ditch attempt to get those Democrats in office or keep them there. $87.5 million has been spent by them.
That's great.
Can I quickly defend myself about the whole eyelash thing? Because you brought it up.
You know, we got 10 million people listening to the radio.
Yeah.
And, well, now that we don't have cable vision, about 3 watching us on Fox. No, just a little joke. So nobody really saw you. I just made mention of it. What about your eyelashes?
No, I was just fixing them because a few of them had fallen out, and you don't want those things like sitting on your face or even your body, because people will come up to you and try and flick it off because it looks like a fly, and anybody who pops me like that's not going to end well, and I won't be here Monday.
Well, Lord God, what do you look like before they get everything glued on and screwed on and everything else?
A big white piece of paper.
Yeah.
With no face.
So, NASCAR race this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going. Martinsville.
Oh, they are.
Half-mile track.
No, I hate that. That's stupid. That's like racing around a Walmart parking lot. So,
that's fun times.
I hope they all run out of gas. I hate NASCAR now. All right, 25 FDR. Please welcome once again from his album, Saints and Sinners, Sinners and Saints, rather, the great, he is great voice. And I thanked him for coming in. He used to be with the Mavericks, and then they all got angry with one another, and they've been in court ever since. Here's the great Raul Malo.
I don't understand what people fuss about. It seems like they're all angry all the time. Minding everybody's business like it was their own. I can barely find the time for mine. I believe in leaving love and well enough alone. You won't find me casting that first stone. You may not share my point of view or see the world the way I do. I hope this doesn't matter much to you. I don't have to be self-righteous even when I'm right. Please excuse me if you think that's wrong. I've been told that I'm a sinner nearly all my life, but so is everyone I've ever known. I believe in leaving judgment for somebody else, someone more deserving than myself. You may not share my point of view or see the world the way I do. I think life is filled with endless possibilities. But fools can only see what fools can see. You may not share my point of view or see the world the way I do. I hope this doesn't matter much to you. You may not share my point of view or see the world the way I do. I hope this doesn't matter much to you. I hope this doesn't matter much to you. I hope it doesn't matter much to you.
You know, I don't know what you could sing that would be. I don't know what you could sing that would sound bad. But that's great.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
From Raul Malo's new album, Sinners and Saints. Later on, he's going to do the great J.D. Souther song that Raul did on an album called "You're Only Lonely." And of course, Raul Malo was on the First Ranch record, which is back on the charts again.
Yeah.
The great Charlie Ritz song.
I don't know how to tell her that I didn't get that raise and pay today. And I know how much she wanted the dress in Baker's window and then bring